To Elena and Elijah, my fellow fathers, and to the next generation. Have you ever thought about what you need to do or what you should do during lonely days? Before I continue with this topic, this is the Operation Fatherhood channel. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment, and hit that notification button so you'll get every video when it comes up. So again, have you ever thought about what you would do in the moment or in the time of lonely days? I ask this because loneliness can strike us at any given moment. And let me also add, kind of as a pre-thought, that if you battle certain mental health issues, you should definitely seek attention, right? So get a counselor or therapist. Sometimes, they may be able to prescribe you medicine or whichever. But, it's one of those things that we have to consider. Because now let me also add, there are certain people who are just natural loners. They like being to themselves. So loneliness doesn't necessarily bother them. Some of those people may be religious or spiritual. They may decide to become monks. I'm just kidding. But anyway, the point being is that, in the moment of loneliness, we have to remember to keep ourselves active. That's the one thing I've learned recently, and I've had people kind of encourage me on. When you have those moments where, in times and days where you may be spending a lot of time, by yourself, it's really easy to get trapped in your own thoughts, and so or lost in your own thoughts. And when that happens, that can become dangerous and somewhat unhealthy. Not to say that a person may do themselves harm, but that is also possible. But just over time, it may be unhealthy mentally, physically, emotionally. So it's one of those things I've been reminded recently to stay active. So, fortunately, I work, for a living. So, I'm able to work and sometimes, you get lost in your thoughts even at work, but, usually you have something to take your mind off of whatever you're going through. Also, and I've also been reminded of being consistent on when it comes to keeping your body active, right? So, and I will be honest, I've been terrible about exercising, but it's one of those things that I have to do, and I need to do. So I'm actually looking in my own little gym membership. But it's one of those things that we have to keep our bodies active. We have to keep ourselves moving. Usually exercising is very good, good way to, not only are you burning fat, but it's just good for you mentally. So that's another thing to think about. So, you have the exercising, you have keeping yourself busy or active with a job or other activities. And then another thing to remember too is community. That, I'm big on community. I'm big on having family and friends that you love, that you hold near and dear, that love you and that are willing to be there for you and be honest with you and love you and encourage you through those lonely days and lonely nights. Because loneliness is, like I said, unless you're conditioned for it or that's your personality or your temperament, loneliness can be very, very, it can be taxing on a person. It can weigh you down, especially if you're living by yourself. So that's one of those are things to think about, so making sure you have community, good family and friends, or encouraging family and friends, loving family and friends, making sure you stay physically active. Another thing I was reminded on, eating healthy. So that's always something I have to work on and becoming more disciplined with that. So again, if you're lonely, and also, like I went back to and said in the beginning, if you feel as if, nothing that you're doing is helping you bring you out of that slump, remember, you may want to think about and really be encouraged to seek out medical attention. Something to think about. Sincerely, Operation Fatherhood.